As we approach our thrust reduction altitude, the FMGC transitions to the climb phase. Lever climb flashes in the first column of the FMA. The pilot will reduce the thrust from flex MCT to the climb detent when the airspeed is trending upward. We can also see that auto thrust goes from armed to active. With the speed managed, the aircraft will climb at 250 knots below 10,000 feet. This is noted in the FMGC in the performance climb phase and on our speed tape. We know the speed is managed because the speed bug is magenta. The airplane is now climbing via the SID. You can see 10,000 is in magenta at the top of the altitude tape, and there's a magenta hockey stick on the ND indicating where the aircraft is going to level off to honor the 10,000 foot restriction at radar. If we take a closer look at radar, we can see several symbols. First being a magenta dot. This magenta dot indicates a speed limit. This is where the aircraft is going to accelerate above 250 knots, leaving 10,000 feet. We can also see a blue upward hockey stick. This indicates where the aircraft is going to resume climbing via the SID after it's honored that constraint. Colors matter. The blue on the hockey stick indicates that the aircraft is going to do it for us. With the aircraft now in out constraint, it is honoring the at or below 10,000 foot restriction at radar. Now that the aircraft has left radar, it's going to continue climbing via the SID, honoring all constraints. If ATC were to give us a clearance to tell us to climb and maintain 13,000, we'll set 13,000 in the FCU and pull. You can see that we have now gone from climb to open climb in the FMA, and the magenta circle over jet tag on the ND went from magenta to white, meaning that the aircraft will not honor that constraint. We're going to go ahead and select a lower airspeed to expedite our climb. You can see that the blue hockey stick is moving, showing us where we're going to level off at 13,000. ATC told us to climb and maintain 13,000, which gives us an opportunity to take a look at some things in the FMGC. We can see as we approach jet tag that the FMGC is predicting us crossing 12,770 with an associated amber asterisk and an associated amber circle around jet tag, meaning we would not make those restrictions. Now that we're in Altstar, let's assume ATC gives us a clearance to climb via the SID. If the pilot changes the altitude knob in Altstar, it will mode revert to whatever vertical speed the aircraft was at the time of the altitude change. This is associated with a triple click. All the pilot needs to do is go into the FCU and push the altitude knob to manage the climb. If they were also given normal speed, they can push the speed knob to manage the speed. This can be noted at the top of our speed tape where we have a magenta 281. Let's also assume ATC gives us a vector off of the SID. When the pilot pulls the heading knob to engage heading, it will mode revert to open climb. It does this because the aircraft cannot be managed vertically if we're not managed laterally. The only way to be in climb is to be in nav. With the altitude knob pushed, we can note that we are still in open climb. Again, in order to be in climb, we must be in nav. We can see right now we're a cost index of 6. With a cost index of 6, our speed managed is 281 knots, or Mach 0.76. Let's increase the cost index to see what happens. We'll insert cost index of 25, and we can see that our speed managed in the climb has now gone from 281 to 290 knots. We can also select a speed in the FCU. The new selected speed in our performance climb page is 282, and a selected speed can be noted on the speed tape. Now let's go direct SPAS. We'll confirm and insert SPAS, and we can see that the airplane automatically goes into nav mode. In nav mode, pilots now have the option to push the altitude knob to manage the climb. They also have the option to push the speed knob at any time to manage the speed. This is indicated on the PFD on the speed scale as a magenta bug, not blue. You can also see in the performance climb page that it says it's managed. Passing through flight level 180, we have standard calls. The pilot flying will say pull standard. Passing flight level 180, the pilot monitoring will say standard pulled, altitude checked.